Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher. Hello, teacher.
Okay. Uh, and welcome back. It's been long times. Today we will continue with the lecture in the first session, and then we will have the group presentation in the second sessions. And one more thing I like to inform you is that I already paused the quiz for your class. So, and the deadline will be next week. Okay, next week. So you have to return. Okay, you have to turn in all this the quiz. And one more thing is that on I think 8 December we will have a midterm. Okay, we will have a midterm for our subjects. So next week I will take some minute to have a brief on the preparation, okay, for the midterm. Okay, so hopefully you will join. Okay, please join next week because I will give some advice on the preparation for the midterm. We will have midterm on 8 December. I will post the message, okay, in the class to remind you, okay, about this. Today we will start our new chapter, but before that I like to review, going back a little bit on what we have studied in the previous chapter. Okay, so you don't lose the way. Okay, uh, so in the previous meeting, okay, in the previous meeting before the holiday, we learned about the foreign exchange market. Okay, and we learned that this is a market where people keep buying and selling the foreign currency. Okay, and we also learned that we also develop a model that allow us to predict or to explain about the exchange rate. Okay, so if we see exchange rate, let's say $1, okay, equaling to so if we see, okay, if we see that $1 equaling to 4,000 real, okay, we have a question why it have to be so. Okay, why can't it be $1 200 real or $1 100 real? Okay, so in attempting to understand this, we develop a model which we call the foreign exchange market model. Okay, and at the end of the lecture, we do actually develop the model, which we can summarize, okay, in this very brief graphic diagram. We can put the exchange rate over here, okay, which is the current exchange rate, and we have the interest rate or the rate of return. We can call rate of return on currency deposit. Okay, currency deposit. In other words, this is the rate of return that when you deposit the money at the bank, you will receive the interest payment. Okay, so that is the rate of return, and generally it is calculated in percentage. Okay, and we learned that the rate of return for the home currency, okay, home currency, let's say that the home currency is US dollar. Okay, so it's independent, okay, of the exchange rate. If you deposit your money in US dollar at the bank, you will receive this interest rate, let's say 5%. Okay, so after 1 year you can get your money back and the bank will pay you 5% interest rate on the money that you keep with the bank for the period of 1 year. So this 5% is called the rate of return for the home currency, okay, home currency deposit. Let's say that US dollar is your home currency. Okay, so when you deposit at the bank, you will receive this rate of return or this interest rate. On the other hand, we also have the rate of return for the foreign currency deposit. Let's say the euro, okay? So the rate of return on the currency deposit of the foreign currency is equaling to the interest rate on the foreign currency, okay? If you deposit the foreign currency at the bank plus the change in the exchange rate, okay, which is the change in the between exchange rate today when you decide to buy the foreign currency in order to deposit, okay, and the okay, so this is the we can put it the future exchange rate or the exchange rate after 1 year, okay, and the exchange rate that you have to buy the foreign currency, the euro, now in order to deposit at the bank. So this item is the percentage change in the value of the foreign currency over the period of the year, okay, of 1 year. And all euro here is the interest rate that you will receive if you deposit money in euro or in the foreign currency at the bank, okay. So in other words, if you decide to deposit the money in foreign currency, let's say euro, by the end of the year, you will receive the interest payment in euro, okay, plus if you convert that deposit back, okay, into US dollar, your home currency, you get another benefit. If the euro become expensive or appreciate, you will get more dollar, okay. So you get more euro, but you can convert them into US dollar, and you can convert into more US dollar if the euro appreciate or become expensive, okay. So in other words, this curve, okay, this curve is called the rate of return for the foreign currency deposit, okay, and this vertical line is the rate of return for the deposit of the home currency if you decide to deposit in the home currency, okay. And we learned in the lecture that the rate of return on the foreign currency is having a negative slope. It means it have negative relationship with the exchange rate, because this exchange rate is the exchange rate that you have to buy the foreign currency. If you could buy foreign currency at cheaper price, okay, in other words, if you could buy euro and you pay less quantity of US dollar now, okay, so when you can buy it much cheaper at the end of the period, okay, you will be able to get more US dollar back, okay, from deposit in euro. Okay, that's why the curve actually have a negative slope. In other words, okay, the lower the exchange rate, the cheaper you can buy euro, okay, the higher, okay, the rate of return you can get from deposit in euro. Okay. So the two curves cut each other at in the point in the point where they intersect each other, and that point we call the interest parity condition, okay, which can be called for short the IPO, okay, interest rate parity condition. At that point, the rate of return for deposit in euro and the rate of return for deposit in US dollar, okay, in other words, regardless you decide to deposit in euro, in foreign currency or home currency, you get the same rate of return. That is called interest parity condition, and that is the equilibrium exchange rate in the foreign exchange market, okay. So let's say that is 1 euro equaling to $2, okay. So that is called the foreign exchange market model. It tells us that exchange rate that we see on the market is the exchange rate which is the equilibrium, okay, that follow the interest parity condition. Okay, if it's not, if the interest parity condition does not satisfy, then it means that people will try to exploit the benefit by perhaps they can deposit in euro and they can get more return than deposit in US dollar. Okay, so they try to buy euro and then they deposit at the bank, and that will drive down the rate of return for euro deposit. Okay, or maybe the rate of return for US dollar home currency is higher than euro, then people will try to buy the US dollar to deposit and they sell the euro, and that will bring up the rate of return for euro back until they equal each other. Okay, so we can see that exchange rate that we see on the market. Okay, if you go to Olympic market, you go to Canadian bank. Okay, these are the equilibrium exchange rate. Okay, so the message that we get from the model is that the rate of return of the currency deposit is the driver, is the explanator, is the predictor that can be used to predict the exchange rate on the market. So if we learn the information that the rate of return for US dollar deposit is increasing, we know that we can predict that the US dollar will appreciate or become expensive. If we know that the rate of return for the euro is increasing, okay, we know that the euro will appreciate against the other currency. Okay, so that is the message that we learned from our previous discussions. Okay, so that's just a quick and at the end of, we can use this model to predict. Okay, so let me show you how we can predict this. Okay, using the model. Oh, okay, so let me draw the foreign exchange market model again. So we have this model, we have exchange rate here, and we have the rate of return here. Okay, rate of return here, and we have the rate of return for the home currency. I put it OH, and we have the rate of return for the foreign currency. Let's put or F. Okay, FC and HC. So this is the exchange rate. Okay, so let's say E star equaling to 1 euro equaling to $2. Okay, so we can actually use this to predict a lot of things. Let's say we learned that the central bank of the US decide to increase the interest rate for deposit in US dollar. Okay, so we know that this one will shift to the right. Okay, let's say before it's 5%, but the government say I want to encourage them to save money, so I would put a law saying that all commercial banks in the country have to offer high interest rate for deposit. So interest rate may going to 10%. Okay, so you know that people want to deposit in US dollar because it's a good money that give good return if you decide to deposit in US dollar. So people would sell all the euro or whatever currency to buy dollar for deposit. Okay, so we know that in this case the exchange rate will move down. Okay, in other words, maybe 1 euro equaling to 1.5 US dollar. In other words, the euro become cheaper and the US dollar become expensive or appreciate because dollar become more valuable. People want to have it for deposit to get a very high paid interest rate. Okay, so that is the predictions. Or perhaps you waking up in the morning and woke up in the morning and you wake up in the morning and you hear the news that the government is going to impose tax on interest that people earn from deposit money at the bank. This would have the opposite consequence. Okay, so it will move to the left and nobody want to deposit in US dollar, knowing you have to pay very high tax. Okay, we can also do the same thing for the foreign currency. If we know that the European Central Bank in Frankfurt in Germany decide to increase interest rate on deposit in euro, you know that the curve would shift upward, okay, and the euro would become expensive because people would want to deposit in euro. So that is the key message that we learned from our previous discussion. So hopefully you get an idea of this, and so we can move on. We can move to our new chapter. So to conclude, the main message, yes.
Sure, can I clarify one thing, sir? Can you
Yes.
tell me again about the which policy that the central bank make the home currency to increase the rate, sir?
Can you repeat your question again?
You said that the central bank they do something to make the home currency to increase the rate, sir. Can you tell
Yeah.
me which policy is that, sir?
There could be any kind of policy, okay? If that kind of policy is intended to make, okay, the deposit interest rate on any currency higher, okay? So there could be many kind of policy that can be used to influence, okay, to influence the commercial bank, okay, to offer, okay, high interest rate for people who want to deposit the money, okay? For example, okay, government may say, okay, bank, okay, a Canadian bank, I will reduce the tax, okay, for your business if you offer little bit high interest rate, okay, for depositor. If the depositor willing to deposit in Cambodian real, for example, okay. Or maybe it may be that it may say, for example, I will delay, okay, I will delay postpone your tax payment for the next 5 years or next 3 years, if you're willing to offer, okay, a little bit high interest. Or it could be a very strict policy. Let's say every bank, okay, in the country must increase, okay, must offer very high interest rate for depositor. Okay, if any bank who go against this rule will get punishment. Okay, so it could be any kind of policy. So the main idea is that we can use this idea, this diagram, in order to apply, okay, to see what happens when interest rate, okay, change. Will it have any impact on the value of our currency or not? Would it have any impact on exchange rate or not? Is that answer your questions? Yes.
Yes, sir. Sure, but one more thing, sir. From what I see, bank in Cambodia they offer higher interest rate when we deposit in
No,
real.
no.
Yes.
We don't have any rule. We don't have any incentive for commercial bank. We don't have any policy, okay, to motivate yet, okay. So the
Yes, sir,
rate
but
that you see at the bank is the market rate. It's a competition with the bank, okay. Bank compete with each other in order to attract depositor. Any bank willing to offer a very high deposit rate, okay, people will go there and deposit the money. For example, if I go to AMK and I see they give me only 5%, but if I go to Amrit and I say, oh, they give me 7%, I would deposit my money with the Amrit. So the bank actually compete with each other, and by the end of the day, you see the rate are not so different from one another. It could be very little difference. So that is the rate that come from the competition in the market, okay, among all bank and microfinance who are trying to get the deposit money, okay, from depositor, from you and me, okay. Does that answer your questions?
hey, sure, but I want to say that I saw many bank they offer when
Yeah.
you deposit in real you get more rate than
Yes.
when you
Yes.
deposit in USD. But why
Yes.
does Cambodian they like to deposit more in USD than real, sir?
Well, that's it go more than what we discussed here. Maybe you have to wait for the next chapter, okay. But the simple answer is that people like to use dollar, okay, than real, because it's easy, it's more convenience. You can buy with dollar and you don't need to carry a lot of quantity of cash, okay. Let's say you want to buy one laptop, you can carry only maybe 300 US dollar. You can buy a used one. But if you want to carry the Cambodian real, you may have to carry as much as maybe more than 1 million Cambodian real. Okay, imagine how difficult you have to carry the cash with you. Okay, so the easy answer is that the convenience. Okay, the convenience. Okay, that's why they use dollar, and so people want to deposit. As long as people think they're easy to use dollar, they also want to borrow dollar rather than borrow real from the bank. Okay, so if I need to pay, I may want to use real. I want to use the dollar rather than real, and I may go to the bank. I may borrow in dollar, not real. Okay, so it's the convenient. But one of the policy of the central bank is to promote the use of real. Okay, as you will learn in the next chapter why it's important to use real rather than US dollar. But for the moment, okay, the answer is that it's easy, it's convenient. If you can convince people that use real is more easy, okay, then I'm quite sure that people will use real rather than dollar. But I don't think we have much incentive to make real easy to use. But what we see right now is that the use of the online platform, okay, you can pay in real, you can buy things like Tonchet, or you can use ABA and you can pay. That's more easy. That may be the future, that people use more real because it's more easy. You don't need to carry cash with you, okay? I think we will talk more about this in the subsequent chapter, so I like to put it for the next chapter. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move to our new chapter, and it's what you asked. It's about money. Okay. So let me. Okay. So today lecture will be about the money market. I mean, we will discuss, okay, what exactly is money. So so first we will talk about. I will briefly, okay, we will define what exactly is money. So you see the word money, I think long ago since you were young, okay. So you may have question in mind, what exactly is money? Is it the banknote which I see? Is it the coin, or is it some kind of like gold, silver? Okay. So we will define what exactly is money, okay, and then we will measure, okay. So we will measure the money demand and the. So you may have a questions. How big is the money in my economy? Would the money in Cambodian economy is big or small? Okay. So economists like to measure things, because if we can measure, we can know how big or small it is. Okay. So we learn the measure of this money. And then we will examine the money supply and the money demand in the equilibrium market. In other words, we're looking at the money market, just like any other market. In a market, you have the demand, you have the supply. So you will see how big is the supply of money and how big is the demand for money, and whether they are equaling each other or not. What happens if the money supply is bigger than the money demands? What will happen in the money market? Okay. And then we will examine the relationship between the money supply and exchange rate. So what happens if government decide to print more money? Would it have any impact on exchange rate? Okay, that's what we will look at in this chapter. Then we will continue to looking at the relationship between the money price and exchange rate in the long run. So we move from the short run, okay, and then we move on to discuss briefly in the long run, okay. You will see how the difference between short run and long run. Lastly, we will compare the difference between inflation and exchange rate change. You see that the exchange rate are the most unpredictable, okay. They keep changing every second, every minute. That's why people who bet on currency, you see like GFH, okay, company, okay. So it's not a good thing to invest because it's very volatile. It keeps changing every day. It's unpredictable. Unlike other kind of asset like gold, silvers, or stock, bonds, okay. So we will compare this fluctuation by the end of the chapter. So let's begin by moving to what exactly is money. Okay. In the previous chapter, I think I already reviewed it. So we discussed the relationship between interest rate and the exchange rate, right? Because we learned that the rate of return, which is interest rate, is the predictor. Any currency offer very good interest rate on deposit, that currency will appreciate. Okay, that's what we learned in the previous chapter. In this lecture, in this chapter, we will go a little bit one more step. Okay, so you will see that interest rate is being influenced by the money supply and money demand in the economy. Okay, so money supply and money demand will have influence on the interest rate or the rate of return on currency deposit, and then it will affect the exchange rate. Another thing that we will see also is the expectations of the future exchange rate. Expectation, something you think about the future, will also have impact on exchange rate. So we're looking at this. In this chapter, we will show that the money market, okay, a market where you have money demand and money supply, affect the foreign exchange market, okay, and what interest rate in the short run, okay. We will also discuss the difference between short run and the long run. The short run is a condition in which the price cannot change, while the long run is a situation or a condition that price will be able to change. I think you're already familiar with this when you learn in the micro and the macroeconomic class in I think in year 2. Okay, so when we talk about short run in economics, we mean a period where price cannot adjust or change yet to the condition in the market, while the long run is a situation where price can adapt or change to the condition in the market. Okay, that's what we mean when we talk about short run and long run in the economics. Okay, so we will see that the money supply and money demand in the money market will have impact on the exchange rate, both in the short run and in the long run, but they are different. They look different. Okay, so let's begin by define what exactly is money. Okay. I think maybe most people, money, maybe you can think of coin like this or a banknote, okay, that you may have in your pockets, okay, or it could be something like if you went to Thailand, you may see it's like a coin or whatever, okay. So that is money, okay. So the easy thing to think of money is that you may define money like an asset, okay, asset that widely used and accepted as a means of payment. In other words, you can use it to buy things, okay, or to make payment when you buy things, or the seller is also willing to accept it, okay, in return for selling something for you or doing something for you. So money is like something that's valuable because in a sense it's valuable. It's like an asset because people accept it. People think it have power in buying things. Okay. So the first thing to think of money is to think of it like an asset. Another thing is that money is very liquid. Okay. But it pay little or no return. Okay. So the money that, let's think of the banknote, okay, that you have in your pockets. You can use this to buy things. It have power, okay, because people accept it, okay, and it's very liquid because unlike other kind, like if you have gold or you have jewelry, okay, the gold rings, okay, if you want to buy things, you have to sell your gold first in order to get the banknote, the cash. So you can buy food, you can buy things, okay? So it's not so liquid like money. So money is the most liquid form, but it may not give you a very high return, okay? Unlike deposit, which give you the rate of return. The money that you keep in the pocket don't give you any rate of return, but you can buy things, okay? All other assets are not less liquid, okay? But they would pay you very high rate of return, okay? So the easy thing to think of money that you can think of it like something like an asset, okay? Asset. I think the keyword is asset. Asset is something that have value, Okay, value. Value would mean that it may become thing that people want to have it. It have value inside it. Okay, but defining money by trying to looking at the physical nature of money is very difficult. Okay, so for economists, okay, for many people, for you and me, I mean, it's sometimes people call this money. Okay, sometimes we buy things, we may use gold. People sometimes may also accept gold in exchange. Okay, uh, you know, in the past, okay, when we don't have gold, we don't have coin, we don't have a banknote like this. Okay, people exchange. Okay, exchange by using commodity. So if I have rice and I need to buy fish, I may exchange rice with the people who sell the fish. Okay, so that is, so you may think maybe rice would play a role as money. Okay. So defining money in that way is very difficult. So generally when we think of money, for economists, we like to think of the functions. Okay. So money generally have three functions. Okay. It plays three important functions in the economy. The first one is that money is a medium of exchange. In other words, money is playing role as an item that the buyer can give to the seller when they want to purchase goods and services. Okay, so it's a medium of exchange. Okay, let's say you want to buy fish. You don't need to bring rice to look for people who have fish and willing to exchange with you. You just bring with you some kind of cash or maybe some kind of coin or any kind of money that you can give to the seller, and then you can get the fish that you want to buy. Okay, so money play a role as a medium of exchange. It facilitates the buying and selling. The other function of money is called unit of account. The unit of account referring to that we can use money as a yardstick, okay, where people use to post the price on good to record the value. Okay, when you go to the market, okay, and you're looking at, let's say, the computer like Dell, or and then you want to compare it with the other brand like let's say Toshiba. So let's say that the Dell is $300 and the Toshiba is $600. So these are called unit of account because it allows you to compare the value. You can know which one is more valuable, which one is more expensive. Okay, so unless you use money to put, okay, to tag, put as a price, okay, on the good, so you can compare. You know which one is expensive, which one is value, which one is smaller, which one is bigger. Okay, by using money as unit of account. The last thing is that money store the value. Okay, as I say, money have power because it can use to buy things. Okay, so it can transfer your purchasing power from present to the future. Let's say you have some money with you, you don't want to spend it today, you can keep in the pockets. Okay, and you can wake up in the morning and then you can buy things. Okay, you can still buy things with the money you have. So you can transfer your purchasing power today into the future, because in the future you can buy things with the money. You know it have power to buy things. It store value. Okay, so that is the three functions of money. Okay, so anything, okay, anything that can fulfill these three functions can be regarded as money. Okay, so from now on, when people tell you this is money, that is money, this is money, to you as an economy student, okay, you think of whether those things can fulfill the three functions or not. Okay, if it can, then that is money. Okay, so let me have a question for you. Can we count a house as money or not? Okay, let me go to the class and ask our participants. So I'd like to ask Kum Hua. Hello, Kum Hua. Are you there? Good evening, Kum Hua. Yes. So the question is that can we regard house, okay, as money or not?
I don't think we can regard a house as a money virtue.
Yes or no?
Yeah. No, Richard.
No. Okay. Why?
Um, First of all, of course, it can be an asset because it has its own value, but it's not a medium of exchange.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Okay. So if you, let's say you want to buy fruit at the market, so you may go to the market and say, "Oh, I want to buy fruit, and I will give you 1/3 of my house." Okay. I think it's very difficult. Okay. It can do, but it's very difficult. Okay. So money, I mean house, does not fulfill the functions of medium exchange. Many people, it's not easy to maybe 1/10 or 1/11 of your house. Okay. So uh, so house cannot fulfill the medium exchange. And do house actually can fulfill unit of account? Have you ever seen at the market? Okay, my jacket or my laptop is sell for one over 300 of the house. I don't see that kind of quote, okay, or price tags at the supermarket when I go to buy the laptop, okay, because it's very difficult to quote price in that way, okay. So how cannot fulfill the function of unit accounts? Okay, the last function, do how fulfill store value money? Yes, it did. If you own a house, okay, and in the next few years when your house become, I mean, when the location around there become a good locations, your house would become more valuable. The price of the house would become expensive. And if you sell the house out, you can get a lot of return from having, okay, because the house store the value. In other words, house can only fulfill one function, which is store value. So we don't actually call this as how as money because it does not fulfill the other functions. Okay. So from now on, from this moment on, okay, when people talk to you about money, you think of the function. So for economists, money is not, it's not what it is, okay, it's how it is, okay, how it works, okay. You may have a question in mind, okay, what is the first thing that people use as money? Many thousand years ago in the past. And the answer is that cowrie, okay, which I show you on the right hand side. So cowrie is kind of like cell people use in China, about 100 pieces. Uh, well, this cowrie can fulfill three functions. In China, when you want to buy teacup, I mean a cup, I mean a cup of tea, then you went to a tea shop and then you say, and the seller would say is willing to accept this cowrie in return for selling you the tea. Okay, so if you drink 1 cup of tea, you may pay 2 cowries or 3 cowries. Okay, so in other words, cowrie could fulfill these three functions. If you luckily have cowrie with you, it have value because you can buy things. You can stay at a guest house, you can eat food, you can pay for transportation and other kind of service. So cowrie is the most hidden in history of money. It's being the first money being used by humans. Okay. Uh, you may used to hear a story of the in an island where people keep the prisoner on an island, and the prisoner in an island actually use cigarette as money because a cigarette would fulfill the three functions. When you want to clean your clothes, if you have cigarette, you can offer to the cleaner. Okay, that's I pay you 2 cigarette. Okay, and you clean my clothes. So it fulfills the functions of medium exchange. It also can be used as unit of account. Cleaning a clothes would cost 2 cigarette. Okay, and it store value because people, I mean the prisoner in the prison, everybody willing to accept this as having some power for paying for buying things. So even a cigarette can play a role as money. Okay. So the message that you have to remember from now on is that when people talk of this money, you have to think if it fulfills that three function or not. In today's world, a lot of people talking about digital currency, cryptocurrency, bitcoins, the real digital currency. Okay, maybe digital like Bakong. Is it money? Then you think of this three function. Is it fulfill the three function? If it does, that is money. But before that, I like to bring you back to an island in the Pacific Island, which is, it have a lot of story to tell you. And it may be the idea that people think of the modern time of money and maybe the money in the future. I like to say that in the future, you may not see any money at all. We call the cashless economy, okay? Some country in the Europe, like in Estonia, that they actually try to, I think in China today, people, they trying to adopt a kind we call digital currency. So it is good time to looking back, okay, at this story so that you may have some idea what exactly is money and what will be the money look like in the future, okay? So in order to do that, we visit an island called the App Island, the Yep Islands. I think I attached a video in the Microsoft team. If you have time, you can watch the video. And if you have time, you can also visit the islands, okay? And that is called the giant stone money. So people in these islands, you can see this guy, okay? That is their money. So it's a big giant stone. So they have a hole inside that, okay? So they use this as money. So if you want to go to buy, let's say, vegetable, you may have to carry this kind of a big stone, okay, and to buy vegetable in the market, and the seller is willing to accept it as money. But the one thing is that it's very difficult to carry because bigger, get bigger and bigger. So one day there's a legend who say that they sell, okay, and they carry this stone on, I mean, on a small cell, and they, during their transportations, there's a storm coming, and this stone actually sank, I mean, to the bottom, to the floor of the oceans, okay, and nobody have seen it again, okay. But the people on this island, they have a good idea, they're smart, okay. They say, why, who care, okay, let's say the stone is belong to Mr. A, okay, Mr. A. So they go to the market and they say, sir, I need to buy vegetable, and the stone which is staying at the ocean floor is now belong to you. Okay, and they agree, okay, that's belong to you. And the next day, the vegetable seller go to buy meat, okay. He say, okay, now I will pay you that money, but the money is at the ocean, or at the floor of the oceans, at the bottom of the oceans, and now it's belong to you, okay. So the message is that this money would never move, okay? The money would always stay there, but the ownership of the money keep changing, okay? Before it belonged to you, now it belongs to other people. The same thing happened in today's world, okay? You see, I think some of you may already using PayPay, right? So you go and you eat pizza, and then you use your smartphone, and then you say, okay, I'm going to pay. So the money is being deducted from your account, and then it moving into the, I mean, the pizza seller account. Okay. So the money is before belonged to you, but now it has been changed the ownership, being transferred to other people, to the pizza seller, okay, account. So the same thing happened, okay. So in the future, you will never see, okay. I could say if we have the digital currency, okay, you never see that. But when you pay, the money changing ownership, okay, moving from your account to the other people accounts. Okay, so that is the interesting idea. So hopefully the message that we learned today is that I think I want to give time for our presenters, so I'd like to stop here. So the message that you have to remember, okay, as an economics student, I mean economic student, when people talk about money, okay, think if those things could fulfill three functions or not. Today people talk about the bakong. Well, bakong is actually likely to become a digital currency in the future, okay, because it's likely to fulfill these three functions, okay. You can use bakong in order to make payments. It relies on the banking account. If you have bank account, it maybe you can use that to make payment. You can use as a medium exchange. And well, people can quote that. You see the quote maybe on a Facebook page, or maybe in websites like the Alibaba or whatever, okay. They quote the price in real, okay, digital reals. And it store value because those digital real have power. People accept it. So it's possible if that we can have digital currency in the future if they can fulfill. But the problem with Bakong today is that it rely on infrastructure like internet system, okay? And also security system is not yet. People use the blockchain technology, but in the province, okay, you don't have internet, okay? Even internet in the city today, the speed is very limited, okay? Very limited, okay? Not to talk about the cost for the internet. So there's a lot of challenge for the digital currency, okay? And so but this is, you can see the future, what the future is going. In China, the Chinese government already adopt, okay, they already experiment with the digital yuan, okay, and it's going on, okay, and it is on the way, okay. So digital yuan is a kind of yuan which is being regulated, okay, by the Central Bank of China Republic Banks. The same way, digital real, which is going to happen if it is the one that to be regulated by the NBC, okay, the Central Bank of Cambodia, okay. I think I have the reflection paper which I need you to write about the difference between the Bitcoin cryptocurrency and the digital currency, okay, like the digital yuans. So maybe I like to see from your writing. So now I'd like to stop here. Would you have any question that you want to clarify regarding the what is money? Okay, please. So far so good. Hello, Muni and Muni, are you there?
Yes, like.
Any question regarding the discussion about what is money?
I think no from now.
Okay. Other people, you have any question regarding the money, the functions of money?
Sure, can you explain about the money is a liquid, but it pay little or no return, sure?
So when we talk about this point, I mean that think of the cash, okay? Think of the banknote, okay, that you have in your pocket or in your wallet, okay? That kind of money is liquid because you can buy things with it, okay? Because it's already in the form of cash, in the form of banknotes. You can use it to pay and buy things very quickly, okay? So it's liquid. If you have other kind of asset, let's say you have the gold, okay, or you have a car, or you have a house, okay, and you want to buy things, okay, in that case, it's not easy. You have to sell those things first in order to get the cash, okay, and then you can use that cash to buy the other things. So when we talk about liquid, the word liquid, we are talking about the ability to convert the asset, okay, into cash. How long that it take for you to convert them into cash? There are two. It's not, well, we can convert it very quickly. For example, if I have a house, I can convert it very quickly if I'm willing to sell at low price. That's not what we mean by convert liquidity. Okay, liquidity means you have to convert into cash, but you have to sell at the market price. Okay, so money is the most liquid because you don't need to convert anything. It's already in the form of cash, okay? So it's more liquid. The second point is that the money or the cash that you have in your pocket, in your wallet, does not give you any return, right? Okay. However, okay, the gold, okay, would give you that return, because if the next day the gold become expensive, you can go to central market, Satmai, and you can sell that gold. You can make very good return, okay? But the cash that you have in your pocket don't give you any returns. Okay. Similarly, like if you have a plot of lands, and the land become expensive, you can sell it out. You can make very good return. So it gives you higher rate of return. And when the deposit you have at the bank would also give you higher return than the money that you keep as cash in your pocket. Okay, so that's what we mean. So if you're willing to keep money as cash in your pocket, in your wallet, it does not give you any good returns. Okay, but if you put it as deposit at the bank, which is a kind of asset, it gives you return, at least better than the cash in your wallet. Udom, I don't know if I answered your questions.
Yes, sir, I understand now, sir.
Okay. So I think it's time. I think I like to stop here. We spent almost 15 minutes. Any other question regarding the what is money? Okay, so anything can be money if it fulfills the three functions. Okay, medium of exchange, unit of account, store value. Okay. So if you don't have any question, I'd like to end the first session here. We will have a break for 10 minutes, and then we will come back, okay, and we will have our group presentations. So so now it's I think it's so now it's 6:23, okay. So we will come back at 6:33, okay. So let's have a break for 10 minutes, and we will listen to our presenter. Let's have a break now.